What is going on, guys? Today I have an awesome video for you. This is going to be my long-term review of the Pixel Fold. Now, before I get into this video, I just want to let you guys know that the way that I kind of review products is like if you were my friend and you came asking me if this was like the right phone for you, just kind of sitting down, long form conversation style. This phone I got right when it came out, so that was like the end of June, I believe. I ended up using this as my daily phone every day until I tried out the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If you guys would be interested in like a comparison video of some sorts, even though these phones are super different, just let me know in the comments down below. If you guys enjoy videos like these, please leave a sub, like, and comment. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. So first things first, I want to get into the cons, and then I'm going to start hitting up some pros for this. Right out of the gate, the first thing that I noticed when I unboxed this bad boy is just how heavy this phone is, and it really is kind of crazy how heavy this is. Like, comparing this to an iPhone 15 Pro Max, this almost feels like two of these. And I know that the 15 Pro Max is made out of titanium, uranium, whatever, just like all of the new flagships are nowadays, and that is a lighter kind of material than the stainless steel that you have on here. So that could be a pro for some, but for me personally, a phone that you're going to be kind of walking around with in your pocket and like holding all the time, it's like, this is a MagSafe case here, for example, and I have a little MagSafe mount in my car, and there were times where this thing would just whap, like fly right out, just because of how monstrous this thing is, even for its small little passport size. Now, I think making this hinge out of titanium would be kind of like a downfall, because titanium is really a brittle material. I know there's different grades of it, but at the end of the day, a nice like stainless steel like this is going to be much better in terms of durability. And as you can see, I never had a case that protected the hinge on this. I pretty much rocked the regular, like a stock Google Fold Pixel case, and then this here Pataka one the entirety of the time that I had this. And my hinge looks pretty immaculate, if I do say so myself. So the weight of this phone is definitely a huge con. Another thing that, like, I really tried to be like an apologist of this, or I don't know what the right phrase for it is, but these bezels. Now, at first it is nice to like be able to hold the phone from the bezels, but like I think the only, like the last Fold with bezels like this, like folding Android phone in general, was like the Fold 2. Pretty much every other folding phone on the market has a full kind of display. I think having these giant bezels in the middle kind of really takes away from the futuristicness of this device, if you will. Now, I know one of the purposes for the bezel is to have that camera right there, but I honestly cannot tell you any time I held this phone up, you know, for a selfie, even using it for a video call like so. I'd rather just kind of use this kind of orientation, tent mode, and like use this camera for my video necessities. I would much rather have that trade-off for a full kind of bezel-less experience like you have on the Galaxy Z Fold, the OnePlus Fold, and all of those Chinese folds. Another con that I have for this device is the battery life. Now, I know it's a folding phone, and you can only get so much out of it, but the thing is, like, when this phone first launched, the battery life was abysmal. We're talking like 3.5 to 4 hours max. Then Android 14 came out, and it really did kind of bump it up by a good 50%. So that was welcome. And I could live with like 6 hours screen on time for this massive display. The problem is, to fully charge this thing, it takes like an hour and a half to 2 hours. And this is kind of a theme that I've seen with almost every Pixel phone that I've had. Google, even if you take off adaptive charging, it just takes absurdly long. Like, even though this is rated for I think 30 watts fast charging, it fast charges up to like 40%, and then it just trickle charges the rest of the way. And this is something that I've seen with my Anker battery pack, where you could actually view what the phone is drawing, like as far as the power levels and watts goes, and it's just kind of absurd how long this thing actually does take to charge up when it is dead. Now, that being said, like, I know a lot of people say they're like power users and this and that, what have you. Like, I have a job and children, so I was still, putting this thing on the charger, wireless charger, on my nightstand with like 30% left at the end of the day. But I think that's kind of just using my phone like a normal person. And chances are, if you are getting a fold like this, you're an enthusiast that wants to like use the heck out of this thing. And you will absolutely have to charge this more than once in a day. I think all of the negative Nancy stuff is out of the way at this point. Let me get into things that I just absolutely loved about this phone. So first things first is this front display. I have absolutely loved the Passport build of this. I think the OnePlus Open, regrettably, I have not been able to try the OnePlus Open in hand, but I think that aspect ratio may be even better, because it's like a normal iPhone size that opens up, into a foldy phone. But the wideness of this has just been amazing. Another thing that I love about the Pixel Fold, it's one thing that no other folding phone has, and that is just the Pixel software. Something about just how simplistic everything is, along with all of the Pixel AI functions, is just awesome. Like having a telemarketer like automatically get screened when they call you, that's just some kind. Those features are just what makes a Google phone a Google phone. And being able to like have my phone sitting here on the table, having a nice conversation with someone, maybe we're in a cafe or something and a song is playing, it plays down here, maybe I really like that song, I can in the moment see what the name of that song is. If I go into my settings, I check on now playing, there's actually a playing history of all of the songs that this phone has heard, like in the past X amount of time. I don't know how long it actually listens. And so as you can see, this phone actually will like store the music that's playing. And man, this is just such an awesome feature. I can't tell you how many times I've bumped up my Spotify songs because of some cool songs that I totally do not know the name of, but I really loved. Added them straight to Spotify from this. It has just been amazing. And one of the best things about a folding phone in my personal opinion, obviously, is having a tablet-sized screen in your pocket and being able to just, I mean, come on, look at how beautiful that is. I've actually started liking to read manga in this orientation. I just feel like it fills out a little better. But this is just unbeatable in my opinion. And I know a lot, and pretty much every folding phone can do this, but the pixel display on the inside is just absolutely gorgeous. I know a lot of people like watching videos on the inside of their phone too, but I've kind of found that unless I'm holding it like this, and remember the phone's pretty heavy, it just kind of was a little cumbersome. So I actually found myself like watching intent mode like this, pretty much having a built-in kickstand to the phone itself. I did get the D brand case, but that case is absolutely horrid. I was gonna make a video on it, but I couldn't even stand having it on my Pixel Fold for more than 5 seconds with how just absolutely bulky that thing made this phone, which is why I really do like this Pitaka case. I was gonna just rock this with a D brand skin only, but I could not live life that dangerously. I also have really grown to enjoy the speaker setup on this. The speakers are oriented in a very nice fashion. It's not focusing here, but you have a speaker on the top here and speaker on the bottom here. So no matter what orientation, you're getting left and right, and then, you know, you're getting your left and right. So you're always going to get that kind of really nice distributed sound stage. The speakers are very loud, crisp, clear, and I really do love everything about the entertainment aspect of this phone. And now I'm never, even with this like giant display on really any Android phone, I haven't been one to like split my apps like this. It is definitely nice to have kind of 2 screens on one. And one thing that the Pixel really kind of missed out on when it first launched was they didn't have support for the inner screen for all apps. So like I used to open Reddit, right? And you could see here, change this app's aspect ratio. I missed it. So right now it's doing like what Z Fold would do. It's just force like spreading the app across the phone. I think Google thought that if they wouldn't do that, that developers would kind of cave in and start supporting folding phone like aspect ratios, but that did not happen. So for months you essentially had your apps look like this. So as you can see, aspect ratio, experimental. Every app that I use, I pretty much force to full screen. This is what the app looked like before that. So you would have it squished to the left, and it's like a little larger than the actual mid seam is. So you could have it in the middle like this, or on the left like that. When this phone first came out, I think it kind of made it like the laughing stock of folding phones when Samsung from the very get-go kind of forced it like this. And I think, you know, this is nice that you can utilize the whole screen like this now by forcing it. But I mean, look at, this is one Reddit post here, and it is just absurdly taken up the whole screen. So really, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, the developers, I don't think if we're ever going to support this. I mean, maybe if Apple makes a folding phone, that's when you'll start to see true support, but like one post per like swiperoo, it's just kind of like, look at this, you know? And if I fold it in the middle here, that's when you start getting like the normal aspect ratio that you're used to on pretty much any regular device that you have. And that translates to pretty much any app that you could think of. I mean, look at this. This is this is one Instagram post. It's taking up the entirety of the screen here, and I really think the inner display is really only for viewing videos, if you like to read on the Kindle app, or you know, if you like reading manga like this. This reading manga is pretty much the only like way I used this phone open, and that alone made it worth it to me personally. But I think you'll find if you want, I think you'll find if you actually want to use this phone for going in your apps and doing things you would normally do on a slab phone, that is when you're going to start spending like 90% of your time on this here little screen instead of the big screen. But for me personally, whenever I pick up my phone and I'm not just going to text someone, I'm reading some manga, because that is how I like to, you know, be entertained. I think, you know, social media for the most part just gets y'all upsetty spaghetti, and I think, you know, reading some Naruto or Pokemans is it's a much more enjoyable experience, or, you know, way to be spending your time. But, you know, I'll get off that soapbox. Now, I will say one thing with all folding phones as well. You could see it in the light here, is the crease. This crease, it's pretty evident. Like, you can definitely notice it's there, but as soon as you start actually looking at content head on, it completely disappears. So for me, that's a non-issue. I know there's a lot of folding phones that have kind of worked around that and implemented more of like a open teardrop shape as opposed to a sharp curve. But I think one other miss that Google kind of had is a stylus support. I know Samsung, one of their most claim to fames, I guess, is the S Pen, you know, in their S24 Ultra, their tablets, and their Z Fold. I think eventually in the Z Fold they're going to implement an S Pen in there, and I think when that does happen, it's just going to be a game over for every other foldable phone. I think if that happens, I will get a Z Fold again. But overall, after the 6 months or however long it's been, I really do love the Pixel Fold. I think if it weren't for me switching over to the dark side, you know, this would definitely be in my pocket every day, and I would have no problem having this as my main device. I've even, like, you know, because I nerd out on all my subreddits, I've seen a lot of people you know, try OnePlus, try Samsung phones, and they go back to a Pixel Fold, and the reason for that is simply just Google's UI. It really is just a nice, clean, stock Android experience, and I think, oh, look at here, OnePlus Open finally gets stable Android 14, but there's a catch. It's another thing, like, Google makes Android, like, it's going to be most optimized for this device, it is just unfortunate that even though this device was kind of released a month before the Pixel 8 and that it got the G2 chip, I think that was a huge miss on Google's part. And like, if this is your first folding phone and you wanted it to be super premium, it should have had the latest and greatest Google chip made by Samsung. Cough, cough. But Google Pixel Fold 2, what would you guys want to see on that? Personally, I think if they remove this bezel, if they make it lighter, maybe. It does feel very premium and weighty, but I think that does come at a cost of just how heavy this thing is. Maybe change out stainless steel with aluminum. This here camera bump I have really actually come to enjoy, which almost made me forget. I'm not really like the biggest take a picture person. Never was until I had children. So this phone takes amazing pictures. You know, so it is like Google's, you know, magic software that does most of the work here. But I really think that if this is your main like camera phone that you have in your pocket, you are going to be, oh, check that out. I won pretty solid in Vegas here. If you take this as your main camera phone somewhere, the pictures are just going to come out to be absolutely incredible. For example, this is a portrait picture I took of my son, and everything just looks so crisp and clear. I'd honestly rack this up against like an iPhone picture or even like the latest Google pictures. If I were to, you know, just show someone this picture and ask them how they thought about it, I mean, like, this is DLSR level quality here. In my humble opinion, I think the pictures on this, there is no other folding phone that is going to be beating this. Again, I'm not the biggest camera picture person, but you know, taking a quick pic of your kids in portrait mode, I mean, look at the quality of that. It's just absolutely amazing, and this screen is just so nice to actually show people, you know, the pictures that you've taken. Alright, you guys, if you have hung around for the entirety of the video, I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to hear my thoughts on the Google Pixel Fold. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this phone. If it's, you know, a phone that you have now, you really enjoy, you're waiting to see what the Pixel Fold 2 has in store. I have to tell you, if they improve on this, it's going to be a hit. I just think they really need to do something about like the charging speed and the battery. If they could hit those two things along with these here ugly bezels, there's going to be no competition for the Pixel Fold. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, and a sub if you'd like to support the channel. Other than that, I'll catch you next time. Later.